I'm Jane Applegath. This is the Epic Vision Zone. What if you could activate your workspace to boost business and increase your money flow? And what if you could harness the manifesting power of your home to realize your greatest dreams? Lada Ray said, in its highest and purest form, good feng shui signifies perfect alignment between the inner and outer worlds. Marie Diamond is a world renowned master teacher in feng shui and the law of attraction. She is a multi time global best selling author and the star of the major network TV series Feng Shui Your Life. She has starred in the global phenomena The Secret, been featured in over 10 documentaries, and established following for over 2 million students in 30 different countries. As a well-known business and spiritual mentor, Marie has worked with the who's who of celebrities in film, music, global leadership, entrepreneurs, and even royalty. In her latest book, Your Home is Your Vision Board, Harness the Secret Manifesting Power of Your Home, Marie shows you how to transform your bedroom, living room, your kitchen, and even your front door into a three-dimensional vision board. Her new book provides practical wisdom and easy to apply tips that will empower anyone who finds themselves in need of a life lasting transformation and move them into their life that they've always dreamt of. For her humanitarian work, Marie has been knighted a dame. Welcome once again, Marie. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you so much, Jane, for having me. I'm so excited to be here again.
Likewise, I was just chatting with Marie but prior to coming on, and we were talking about the book, The Feng Shui Your Home, and I said it's perfect timing. So in a complete beginner terms, just give us an idea of what is Feng Shui.
Yeah, so Feng Shui is in a Chinese energy system that I think is coming from the same origin as acupuncture, Qigong, Tai Chi, where it actually focuses on the flow of energy. And so Feng Shui literally means wind and water, and these are the two life forces we need ourselves. Like wind is our breath, right? It's oxygen. And so water, without that and without breath, we cannot survive. So it's all about having your home also having this life force being activated by colors, by positioning, by landscape, by what you have around you. And so it is like an acupuncture energy of the house instead of focusing on the body. But of course, what is around us will subconsciously affect our body, our mind, and our heart. And that's why we call that your home is a vision board.
I love that. What is surrounds you affects your body, your mind, and your heart. And that is so true in life, but specifically in your case, the feng shui. And in our northern culture, we don't often appreciate that. We're often like just buy whatever you want, place it wherever you can, and oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into the hoarders because they have very bad feng shui. But we won't go there. Let's talk about some of the few key points in your new Hay House book. Your home is your vision board, harnessing the secret to manifesting power of your home. So give us some key points in your book.
Well, the first thing is I would love for you to become more aware of your surroundings, right? And it's almost asking yourself the question, if you walk around your house, is this who I am? And the second question is this who I want to be? Right? So because we're all doing our goals, we have perhaps a physical vision board. We set intentions for the future, what we want to create in life. But you have to understand everything around you is also affecting you in a subconscious way. And so the question is, when I walk around, is this who I am right now? Or is this what I want to be in the future. So whatever is around you can give you a message on a subconscious level. So that's actually what the book talks about. And then of course we go step by step, room by room, like what can we activate with colors, with images, with crystals, with anything that we have around us already. And most of us we already have in the house. We just have to place it in the right way so the flow is again moving forward to create success, health, relationships, and wisdom.
Mm. Yes, you touched on something very profound. You said it's not just about reflecting who you are, but who you want to be.
Yeah.
That is the depth, because we're always wanting to step into our future self, that self that has been calling us and is there. So this provides us with that pathway. So who you want to be would be reflected in your surroundings. I love that. Absolutely. So what's the first step then that someone should take to align their space with their vision for success?
Well, the first is always to create space, first of all. It's just like look around if there is indeed chaos, if things are not organized. You have to understand that chaos creates chaos in our minds and our hearts because we're seeing it all the time. Even if we're not paying attention to it, each time we walk into the room, our mind or subconscious experience picks it up. And so it's a lower vibration. So if you want to already create balance and harmony, you need to really focus on uh, harmonizing the space around you. Yeah, and that could be also letting go of dead flowers, for example, because they have no life force, or things that are broken. So things that you're like, yeah, one day I will take care of it, but it's 2 years later, you have not taken care of it yet. So look at it and make it as pleasant and harmonious as possible by decluttering and reorganizing the things around you. So that's the first step people can do. And a second thing is, like I said, I want you to walk through your house, yeah, and to look like I look at in my bedroom, right? Are the images there reflecting perhaps who I am, but who I want to be? Like this morning, I was still talking to this young man from New Jersey, and he's like, "I want love, Marie," right? And he hung the picture of a couple above his headboard, but it's in Paris. And I said, "But you're in New York." Right? So, like, do you want to find love in Paris? He said, well, I love French girls. And I said, well, yeah, but are you going to France to find them, or you will find them in New York? And he's like, yeah, New York. So I actually created right away with AI an image for him where he will find love. And it was also an image of um, a Caucasian man, while he is Dominican
Mm.
Republic origin. So I said, this man doesn't reflect you, right? So just adding the right things. And now with AI, we can create so much beautiful images that support us with that. But just sometimes it's in the details, right? Or they're in the dining room area. And so there's just no flowers, there's just no lush energy where it says it's beautiful food on the table, it's very cold. So people will have a hard time being there. So there's just like steps that you can take that just with simple things, you can just up level the energy. So you're like, oh, I feel home here, right? I feel
Mm.
great here. This is reflecting myself. So go and be aware of the space around you.
Yes, manifesting what you want to feel and how you want to be. Absolutely. The I love what you said. It is like you said, the details matter. I mean, this segues into the question I had: is how does transforming our physical space create a more powerful and lasting manifestation tool? But you gave a great example with that gentleman. And yes, you can hang a picture of a couple in love, but like you said, it doesn't represent who you are and where you, are you going to go to Paris to find someone in Paris, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, what you're saying is your home can add to your manifestation power. Is that correct?
Yeah. So one of the things I understood since I started working with my grandmaster this more than 30 years ago was that there are three aspects to manifestation. The first part is what we call the heavenly luck. And heavenly luck is all about that, when you come into this physical body, we have received some talents, we have a purpose for our soul to manifest certain things in this world. And that is given to us, right? This is, if you call it from God to universe, whatever you believe in. So that is part of our basic information that we have, right? And we can, let's say you have a beautiful voice to sing, that is a gift you have received, right? So it's up to you to manifest it, right? So the second part is what we call the human luck. The human luck says, okay, what do you do with that potential, right? Do you have the right mindset? Do you have the right behavior? Do you have the right feelings towards that gift? Do you also take action upon it? Like, say you have this beautiful singing voice, but you never go outside of your shower to sing, right? And you don't think even of yourself, hey, I could perhaps do something with that and create beauty and joy in people's life by singing, right? And you don't take action to study about it. I mean, that will hinder your original talents. Yeah, you don't explore it. The third part is what we call your environment. And so the place where you live, where you sleep, where you work is actually also affecting you in a subconscious way. But each three lucks are equally important. And so in The Secret, for example, where I was one of the master teachers, I would say 99% talked about the mindset. And I was the only teacher that talked about, hey, look at your environment. Yeah. So because I do believe that's the missing link to manifestation. And I've seen this over the last 30 years with millions of students, is that people say, like, I had the right mindset. I was focusing on my spiritual energy. But when then I look around them, like literally the energy is not telling what you want to be, right? And
Mm.
is not resonating and aligning with your intentions and even with your soul purpose. Yeah. So going back to this young man this morning, it was like I walk into his room and the first image you see is an image of Jesus. Now that's beautiful in itself, right? But I said, so do you want to become religious? He said, no, I want to become a Broadway star. And tonight I'm going to be for the first time on Broadway. Yeah. And I'm like, well, Jesus can be great in a different area, but not as you walk in, right? This is not your first thing you want to do. Of course, we'll give it a beautiful space in his bedroom, but not the first thing you want to see. Yeah, because it's too, that's not your focus in this lifetime. Yeah. Okay. So we need to become aware of that these things we put around us, the space around us, is responsible for 33.3%, and that's quite a lot, right, of our manifestation return. So if we look at this and we're stuck in our manifestation, things are not moving forward, then don't be surprised it's because your environment is telling a different story than the intentions you have for yourself for the future.
Mm. Yes, you're almost working against yourself. I understand because you said the vibration. It it affects your vibration, and as you and I know, and many individuals here understand that we are energy sources, and
Yeah,
everything that we interact with, that we think of, and like you in your profession and your expertise, what we see and where we live. And not only that, where we work as well. But that is just fascinating because, like you said, they were going through the mindset on The Secret, but nobody was referring to, wait a minute, when you step in the door, what are you telling your frequency? It's almost like the radio station. Are you
yeah,
tuning in or are you tuning out? And you spend a
yeah.
good amount of your time in that space or also in your office. So very important. Thank you for those key points. Very, very interesting. I love it. Well, here's the next question, and I think you've touched on it. You say that clutter isn't about mess, it's about Energy. Oh, how interesting that I just mentioned that. How does clutter block abundance? And what's one simple way to shift that energy today?
Yeah. So, clutter is literally a lower vibration. Like literally, you take things that you haven't taken care of, you put them somewhere, and you don't even know perhaps it's in a direction that is very good for you based on your personal birthday. But like just seeing it, like even if you go into your bedroom and you say, like, well, I sleep, nobody sees these boxes there,
Mm.
but you do when you wake up. Right? It's like your first visual. And so the frequency of that clutter is affecting you. So the first thing I always say to people, if you cannot declutter right away, cover it. Yeah, cover it with fabric that's perhaps the same color as your wallpaper, so that it feels like it's blending in. Or put it in a cabinet, or put it in a closet, because later on you can tackle that clutter. But seeing it is the worst. Yeah, so you can
Mm.
start with your nightstand, for example. I've seen people piling up things on their nightstand, right? From socks to underwear to tax bills. I have seen it all, right? But I'm saying, look, think about you're not just your physical body, you're also your energy field. So think about that an
Mm.
arm length around us, that's our aura field. Yeah, that's kind of a good measure. So when you sleep and you measure with your arms, and that's where your nightstand is, or it could be that you're single and you sleep on one side of the bed, but on the other side of your bed, where also that's still your aura field, or clothes and I don't know, things messy, and you put things there and you're like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm going to bed, right? It affects your energy field. It affects also your vibration of your body. Yeah. So the same with a desk. Think about when you're sitting on a desk and you do your arms. I mean, your desk is in your energy field, right? So before I start, I had to clear up my desk, right, to make sure it feels good. It feels not overwhelming, because it's not because I look at you that my subconscious mind doesn't pick that up. Yeah. So that alone, we need to always think about, where do I sit? And especially when you sit more than 3 hours or sleep more than 3 hours somewhere, it affects us. Yeah. So it's not just 5 minutes. If you're sitting somewhere, the scales, it will affect you that much. But it's a consistency. Yeah. If you're consistent sitting in a place with chaos, with clutter, that is where our mind is really, and our heart is being affected.
Mm. Yes, I love what you said, your aura field, because we
Yeah.
do have an aura field, a field of energy that I love that you said you use your arm lengths to understand where that field is. And a question for you then, how does that affect you when you walk into your closet? Because I know people's closets can be, oh, very chaotic. Is it the same?
It is the same. It is the same. Of course, we are not spending that much time there, right? But like in the morning, when you wake up and you go and dress yourself, if there's chaos there, this will be influencing your mood. Yeah, it will influence your vibration to start your day, right? So an organized closet is, or if it's a walk-in closet, you just open the door, and like you open the door and you're like, I have no idea what to choose because there's so much things there, right? Or it almost falls out on top of you, right? I've seen this many times. Or people are single and they're like, well, there's nobody wanting to join me in my life. I'm like, and I open the closet and like, is there even space in the closets for that
Mm.
person to come in? Right? So, and also because we're hanging out on, we're holding on to this old energy, right? So, old clothes, old shoes. Again, is this still who I am? And this is still
Mm.
who I want to be. Yeah. So
Mm.
I that's the whole point that we need to look at. And so energetically, that's part of our discipline we need to create. Yeah. Both on our digital space, right? On our phones, both on our closets. I mean, we're storing so much information. And so I always say, every 6 months, I go through my things and I say, will I use this in the next year? Yeah, will this serve me still for a higher good in the next year? And if not, I give it away to charity. There's a lot of people that could use some of your generosity, and also because you create that generous flow, I always seen that the universe gives you another level of generosity back.
This is so insightful, Marie. Oh my gosh, it is just something that everybody needs to listen to. Like you said, is this who I am becoming? Like you look at your closet and you say, is this who I am now? No, chances are it's who you were 10 years ago, maybe. I mean, I know individuals who just cannot part with anything. And I'm like, really? I'm like you. I always feel like I had a good use out of this. Now it's somebody else's turn to have use for it. I'm happy to share it and to recycle it. But oh my gosh, that is key right there. Is this who you are becoming? It's like the whole image of as I said in the olden days, fake it till you make it. Now I know that sounds trite, but it's really embodying who you are stepping into, your higher self, that success person, that influential person, that person of impact. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Thank you so much for that insight. Well, you've worked with high level entrepreneurs and creatives and thought leaders. What's one surprising pattern that you've seen in how successful people design their space?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing that I always see is that when you come into their office space, they reflect, what they do, right? So if they're an author, they reflect they have books there, they have awards, certifications, images with them with other powerful people, right? So there's always like they surround themselves with moments, even from the past, that just tell them who they have been, right? What was their journey, right, till this moment, and they always put themselves also in what I call a power position, right? I've seen it with all the top leaders. It's a natural thing they do, and it's one of the things that a lot of people that want to be more successful should do right away, and that is sitting yourself up with your desk that you see the door, right? So it's like even people are not coming in physically, it doesn't matter. You set yourself up as the king, the queen. Think about the president of the United States, right? When you look at the Oval Room, whoever the president is, they always see the people coming into the space. They're saying, welcome to the people. Because the White House is a house of the people, right? And so they're welcoming them in. So if you're sitting with your back to the door or against a wall or against a window, you literally are not seeing the people coming in. Now, top people, naturally, they always set themselves up in a good space. They always have chairs or a couch on the other side of their desk so that people can sit there. They welcome people. Like literally, you're here, but there's actually a chair on the other side of my desk for you, even if you're not physically here. Yeah. So this is like an energy thing that you do. But if you're facing a wall, that would be like the position of a receptionist, for example, right?
Mm,
So, or an assistant. But if you want to be successful in your own business, always see the door, have space in front of you, somebody can sit, have some support behind you, and that can be a wall. If it's a window, that's okay, but then have a high back chair with armrests, yeah, so that you're literally having a throne, right,
mhm,
sitting where you can sit on. And so that is like, and what is surrounding you is like images that are like inspiring you for your business. Yeah. So like recently I went to a CEO of a company and he's like, yeah, my company is okay. Like things have not been improving. And I said, but if I look around you, they're all the paintings of your two daughters, right? And so he's like, "Yeah, but I want to be a family man." I said, "Well, you cannot be a family man in your office. Yeah, you need
mm,
to be a family man in your family room, in your living room. Hang there the images of your daughters. That's fabulous." Right? And he said, it's interesting because lately I've seen a lot of my my kids coming into my office to start drawing. I said, yeah, but that's not your clientele. Yeah. So think about that. So, and he said, yeah, you're right. So he took all these beautiful pictures out, made a beautiful wall of his children pictures that look phenomenal. But he had to redirect, his office towards his business. And even if you're at home, yeah, and you're working from home, you have to understand your home has become then the headquarters of your business. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The headquarters of your business. But herein lies an issue that we spoke about very briefly at the beginning. What if you have your office in your bedroom? Now,
Yeah.
I know that's a bad thing, but you said there's a quick fix for that. So give us the scoop on that because I know that happens a lot. I have a nephew who does that, in fact. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
It is. And the big problem is that your brain, just your mindset, doesn't know what to do. Like when you're in your bed, you see still your office. And so you're like thinking, oh, I still need to work. I have this and this still to do. So your brain is like
Mhm.
confused. If you're on your desk, your part of your brain is like, oh, I want to procrastinate. I want to sleep. I want to rest. So there's like this mixed messages, right? So the first thing you can do is when you are having a desk in your bedroom is cover the desk with a fabric so it kind of doesn't show up, right? So or you can put a screen in front of it like a Japanese screen so that when you wake up you don't see your work. So when you done work on your desk, you can do the same thing for your bed. You can put a screen in front of it. If you can't do that, because sometimes there's no space, then make sure you're having your bed cleaned up and then put the pillows against the wall so it feels like it becomes a couch instead of a bed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it becomes like, oh, there's somebody can sit there instead of somebody sleeping there. Yeah. So this is like an alternative that you can play with that really works very well. Of course, the best would be is not to work in your bedroom, but that's not always the possibility.
Right. Align your frequencies for success. That's what it that's the message I got is align your
Yeah.
frequencies for success. So what you're doing by having, like you said, your bed and your office in the same places, you're confusing your mind. You're confusing your energy. Yeah, it's like it's static. It's like going, which way do you want to go? I understand it. Oh my gosh, I can paint a picture for that. So here is something that I love. You bridge the ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience. Can you explain how the layout and the energy of home influences our mindset and decision making? Now, I know you've touched on that, but I love the neuroscience that goes behind this.
So I tried to find out if that was also going to impact the brainwaves. So when we are in beta brainwaves, we're less concentrated, we are more fearful, we are more focusing on the past. When we're in alpha brainwaves, we're focusing on solutions. We are more optimistic, more concentrated, and more creative in with our mind. So I was like, there must be a correlation. So we did a test, and so we brought somebody in a space that was cluttered, and within a few seconds, the brain waves were changing and we're starting to get even more beta brain waves for that person. We then put that person in a space that was not cluttered, and we created more within a few seconds. It goes very fast, actually. We create immediately more alpha brain waves. So what it says is that indeed your mood is changing, right? So your concentration, you will go if there's a clutter around you, will be more fearful. When you are more organized, you will have more space and you'll focus more on a positive focus for the future. So then I start doing that also to check in with their personal birthday. So based on your personal birthday, you have an energy number, and you can find that out on the free Mary Diamond app. And so you can actually face certain directions and activate certain directions in your space. So we've seen that when people are then facing or looking at right? During the day, they have to look with their eyes towards that area. At night, they have to sleep with their head pointed towards a good direction. When we measure them, then within a few seconds, they immediately get higher alpha brainwaves and even theta brainwaves. That means
Mm.
you will go in more healing mode. Yeah. So when you're, for example, also in a power position and seeing the door, you get higher alpha. If you then sit with your back to the door, you will go faster in beta. Again, you're not concentrated. You're more in fear. Or also, if you face a direction that is not aligned with you, you will also start having more beta brainwaves. Again, more fearful. So this is how I found out, and we just did a test based on some students. It's not uh, a long study about it, but that kind of gave me the insight that indeed it really relates with your brainwaves, and it affects your mind. And if the
Mm.
brain changes, it affects also or the rest of our body.
Yes. And in fact, when you were saying this, Marie, what I was thinking of was when you walk into a spa, like a large spa, not a small one, but a spa, the ambiance and the atmosphere is calming. Like you walk in and suddenly you just everything comes to you feel, I don't know about everyone, but I feel peaceful. I feel at ease. I sense they have certain sounds and scents that they have there, and it's very decluttered, and it makes you feel good. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean that's what I related it to. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like when I walk into a spa, my whole sensing body, my whole energy just goes, like it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
not just a spa, right? It's just nature
yeah,
itself, right?
yeah,
So when you go and walk on the beach, right, your
yes.
brainwaves will actually go into alpha. When you go to a
Mm,
forest, when you walk in a beautiful landscape, right? So we go into that different mode. But what if in your home you can always be in that perfect flow of energy where everything is what I call an alpha frequency, right?
mm,
And so the first step is literally decluttering, because we know from the experiences that we have done that it does create more beta frequency. That means that people are more fearful, they're more blocked, and they cannot concentrate so well on the future. So this is a simple thing. And then, of course, the book Your Home as a Vision Board brings you step by step to other experiences that you can do. But it's like you're saying, you are in that spa where you feel like, that feeling of, I always say in the word home is the word om. Yeah.
oh,
So, right. So when in the Tibetan traditions or the Asian Buddhist traditions, they would sing om. And so when they
mhm,
sing om, and they have done tests with that, people actually go into alpha brainwaves. Yeah.
yes,
And
hmm,
so, what if your home can be om sounding, right? So you go into alpha brainwaves. So you are aligned between heaven, your body, and the earth in a beautiful way.
mm. I'm with you. I want to be there every day, every moment. Honestly. Oh my gosh. Yes. Om, the most universal sound. It is the universal sound of the universe, actually. It is. It has that vibration. Well, now getting into creating a wealth attracting space. I know this is going to be something that everyone's going to want to know about. If someone wants to bring more abundance into their life, what are three simple home adjustments that they
Yeah.
can make right now?
Well, the first step is your entrance. Yeah, because the entrance is
Mm,
called the mouth of chi, the mouth of abundance. So always use your front door. Don't use your back door or your garage to come in, right? You can, if you have groceries, okay, once in a while, that's fine. But if you go out in the world, like you go to your job or you go to have a beautiful meetings, go and use your front door. Yeah, because then you come out as the king and the queen of your space. Yeah.
mm,
Look at your front door. If it's like a mat that is old and broken and raffled out, replace it. Yeah. When you come inside your home, what do you see? Is it like, I always put an image of my family. I put like lush flowers. I put a light. I don't have shoes on the ground. If you have shoes there, put them in a beautiful box or a drawer. Don't have boxes from Amazon that are around there for weeks that you haven't opened up yet. So just, make sure you feel welcoming, no dry flowers, just something lush and beautiful. So when you come in, you immediately have that spa feeling as you were describing, like, I'm home, right? That kind of energy, right? The second thing for wealth is, of course, where you work. You need to check this out. There's no clutter where you work. Even people that work from home and they're working on their sofa or they're working on their dining room table, make sure that before you start, all the plates and the cups from the breakfast or dinner are gone. So you're getting ready. And even when people say, like, I'm working from home, always dress up. Dress up as you're going to home, to your
Mm,
space. Don't sit there in your pajamas. I mean, literally, there's no professional field that you're creating. Switch your mind, you're at work, right? So dress up for it, even if it's in your own space. A third one is look at um, the plants and the flowers, because they stand for lush energy and blossoming vibration. So
mm,
anything that is spiky, so spiky plants, and I remember we talked about that last time, right? So to let go of anything that is spiky, where you're sitting, where you're sleeping, definitely don't have plants around you.
mm,
But especially where you're sitting, have everything that is round, blossoming, like the beautiful plants that you have behind you. I love that. It draws our attention in. It is beautiful. So definitely bring something of that around you, because it changes your mind. If you have a plant that is dying, you're actually saying there's no life force anymore, right?
mm,
So think about cacti, for example, or spider plants. They're sharp. It creates more criticism. So it doesn't
mm,
allow abundance in. And then for this year, in 2025, I want to share that every year we need to activate the water element for abundance. And the water
mm,
element for 2025 is actually the southeast. So put in your office or your living room in the southeast section. So you need to take a compass, and from the center of the space, look where the southeast, put a bubbling fountain. Or you have an aquarium, you can do that. If you cannot put any of these, put an image of a river or fish swimming. So just to show that flowing vibration. And then just one last tip I want to give you is add gold to your office. Gold is a
yes.
abundance. So, like literally, I have my computer, it's on a gold looking stand. I have baskets for my papers, it's in a gold looking energy. So, adding some gold looking images around you will trick your mind to be more open for abundance.
Yes, I that is such a simple fix too. I love that. And the shoes in the front, I know that's a thing that many of us unfortunately are guilty of, myself included. Here in the Southwest, I'm in Arizona. I'm originally from Toronto, and we used to keep our shoes in the garage. But
Yeah.
we quickly learned we had hiking boots and we had them in the garage here. And after a year of our heat, they actually melted the soles. Like the whole bottom of the shoe was gone at 110, and your garage is even hotter. So it's like, okay, where can we stuff the shoes so that they're handy, but they're not going to melt, you know? But that's just it. That's just, I know you'd never think of it, would you? It's like, what?
Yeah.
What put them on? And it's like, oh my gosh, they're just like bush. But yeah, and I like that you said interesting, or put them in a box or containers, because there are some containers now where you can put them and you can
Yeah.
close them up. Yeah,
Yeah, because
absolutely.
it's again not visual, right?
Yes.
So I always say, I mean, I have been in major palaces and beautiful mansions, right? And so they don't have their shoes on the ground when you're walking. Yeah. I mean, of course they have housekeepers, they take them away. We don't always have the housekeepers, but can housekeep our shoes by putting them in a box, as it's a discipline. right?
Right. It's all a discipline, but it's just fascinating. I love it. I have so many people I need to give all this information to. You have no idea, but
Well, the
it
book
is.
is available for them.
Yes, I am going to suggest to everyone that they pick up a copy. Absolutely. So, different areas of the home impact different aspects of life, which we were just kind of segued and talked about. What's one area that people can tend to overlook that could
Mm,
dramatically improve their relationships or their career?
yeah. Well, it's actually the kitchen.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are,
Yeah.
I would say, working in the kitchen, like on their kitchen counter. I always suggest not to do that because, first of all, your visual is then you're seeing a kitchen, the sink, the fire, you're seeing the oven, you see plates. You don't always clean up perfectly your kitchen. So it's actually not a place I would indicate to work, right? So it's
Mhm.
better to work somewhere where it's more organized, and also the smells are not always perfectly, in a kitchen. So don't work there. Too many people put images of a family in the kitchen. Right.
Mm.
So, especially, for example, they hang them on their fridge, and people say, "Oh, I love seeing them on the fridge." But I'm like, let's be honest, a fridge is cold. Yeah. So if you
Mm.
open the door, it's not always smelling so perfectly, right? So the leftovers are there. I mean, it's like, is that what you, I don't feel like you're honoring your family by putting pictures of your family on your fridge.
Fridge.
So I always say, take that out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Put that in your family room. Honor the family where you would really meet them. You don't meet them at the fridge. You meet them in the family room. Yeah.
You
So
never
it's just,
know.
well, let's be honest.
I'm just
Right?
joking.
So I know, but take that out. Um, and so that is one of the things that I would say, oh, make it clean and organized. And I know people love, oh, I love hanging out in my kitchen. That's great, but always remember that a kitchen is in feng shui not considered the best place for abundance and for
Mm.
relationships. Yeah?
Right.
Because it's a draining energy. Right, so it has a sink, it's the fire, so it's an energy field where we try to especially in America, I feel like they're focusing too much on that kitchen. Well, I'm saying don't hang out in the kitchen, go hang out in the living room, in the family room.
Right.
Honor that space. Yeah. You
Mm.
prepare your food and then go and sit on your dining room, not just with plastic plates, but your best
Mm.
china. So this is where you again show the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Yes. I like to say that you are the luxury, that you are the person that is the once in a lifetime special occasion. We always
Yeah.
save things for a special occasion or for, something we put it away to keep for whatever. Or it's a luxury, so you use very little of it. But it's like, switch your perspective. You are the luxury, and your life, excuse me, is a special occasion.
It is. I love the way
Yeah.
you position that. I totally agree.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it's all perspective. So what are some of the rituals that you use to align with success in your home and in your life? If you could share some of those with us.
Yeah. So for me, a ritual is like every morning I really take time, a 5 minutes silence for myself, right? It's just like I'm
Mm.
asking myself always a few deep questions, right? And I ask them to myself, I ask them to the universe. And one of them is, how can I enlighten more than 500 million people? Show me how. Like I ask God, the universe, whatever you call that, like, show me how I can really impact people. Because for me, success is about impact. Yeah. Success for me is not about the money in my bank account. I do believe when you have impact, positive impact, then there will be always a generosity flowing into your life, because that's, an abundance flow that comes back to you. So I ask myself always the question, how can I love more? Yeah.
Mm.
So that's a question I ask myself. Not how can I make more money that day, but how can I love more? How can I love more myself? right? How can I love more my husband? How can I love more my children? How can I love more my students? How can I love more the people I talk to, right? And just by focusing on these two values of enlightenment and impact and love, I do feel like I'm setting the tone, right, for
Mm.
my day. And I do then a meditation, and I do it's called the Tubes of Light meditation. That's actually available on my app that people all over the world are doing every day in the morning. It's with colors, it's with frequencies. It's a 5 minute meditation. I set the tone, right? I set my energy right, and during the day you know I will tap into these questions regularly, even if it's just before, like, say, a podcast right now, right? Talking to you, Jane, and all your viewers and listeners. I'm always like, okay, what is my frequency, right? My frequency is of enlightenment, my frequency is of positive impact, of love. And so I remind myself of these things. And then at the end of the day, I always look back at my day. I'm like, have I done that? Could I improve
Mm.
that? Or like,
Right.
oh, you know what? I could change that. My words were not the most loving there. My reaction could be better there, right? So I make some mental notes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to improve that tomorrow, right? So it's an ongoing ritual for me, to be honest. And I feel like that has set a tone for myself. So it's not like a really physical ritual, it's more like a mindset ritual that I do, and a heart based connection.
Mm. Yes, the heart-based connection, that's what it is. It's when you start, you're saying, how can I be of more service? How can I be of more influence and impact, help my students, my family? It's definitely all heart. And of course, we know the heart has the most energy. It
Yeah.
emanates the most energy. So if we can boost that, you're actually charging your battery. I mean, I
Yes.
don't might want to say it, but that's what your heart is, right? It's your battery.
Yeah. Without that,
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you for those insights. And what is one feng shui mistake then do you see most often in people's homes?
Yeah. Well, the one especially in America is I see in the
Mm.
bedroom that people have a lot of mirrors. Yeah, or they have
Oh.
a television reflecting their bed. So
Mm.
when we have mirrors, we're actually doubling the space. Now, a mirror in a dining room where you're doubling the food, that is fine. Yeah. When you have a mirror reflecting a window in a darker spot of your home, that is okay. But in a bedroom, you're actually doubling your body. So when you go to bed, you're stressed, you're tired, you're doubling that energy. You're single, you're doubling your loneliness. If you're with two
Mm.
people, you're doubling the relationships, right? So if you have a lot of clutter, you're doubling the
Mm.
clutter. Yeah. So there has been some tests been done in China where they have seen when people have a mirror doubling their bed, they have a higher possibility to get a higher blood pressure, more inflammation, and more white blood cells, what of course leads again to more disease. So I have seen over and over again when people cover their mirrors at night, yeah,
Mhm.
or if they cannot put a screen in front of it, put a curtain over it, or even your television, cover it at night if it's reflecting your bed. Yeah, people
Mhm.
sleep deeper, they sleep better and longer, and they also feel much more energized in the morning. And
Mm.
so they feel really a shift in their life. Yeah. So that's something when I come into a bedroom, that's the first thing I always say, because I've seen a huge improvement in people's life because of covering
Mm.
them in.
That is such a simple fix. And
Yeah.
so like you're right. A lot of people do have mirrors in their bedroom and or well, a lot of them have massive televisions in their bedroom, which is crazy. It's definitely an American thing. I don't know.
It
I'm
is. I
like,
have to be honest.
oh,
In Europe, I don't see that so much. I mean,
no.
I would see it here 80%. In Europe, I would see it 20%. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a big shift. Yeah.
it's interesting. 'Cause I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, and I have a friend, and I said, "Isn't your television big enough already. She goes, no, but we want a bigger one. I'm like, oh my gosh. What do you
Yeah.
want? A theater in your bedroom? It's like, yes, we do. We want to
Yeah.
experience the movie like we're in a theater. I'm like, okay, we'll put it in another room. But anyway, that's me and you, I'm sure.
No, I agree with that. I always say to people, just imagine you're watching television. I don't know what you're watching, but let's say you're watching crime television, or you're watching, violence. That's the
A
last
horror
thing
movie.
that is energy, a horror movie, an energy field that is not just on screen. It's emanating into your space.
Mhm,
Yeah. So
mhm,
I never watch television in my bedroom unless if I would be sick, right? And I'm
mhm,
like, I have to lay down, and I'm like, okay, let me do that. But literally, I don't have a television in front of us. We have a little bit more to the side where it's not reflecting our bed. We're fine. Um, but I don't watch it. I watch it in the family room because that's like where we're together with my husband, my daughter, my son. We're watching it there. It becomes part of entertainment. But I do believe we need to pay attention to that. And the same with, phones or tablets or computers. Put them far away from your energy field because
mhm.
they are really disturbing our mindset.
Oh, they definitely are. And on a physical level too, they're starting to prove that it's not good for your brain. Definitely.
Correct.
But yes, they
Yeah.
do. I mean, when you think of we're all an energy source, and of course they're emanating energy. And it's, you're absorbing it or pushing against it, whatever the case might be. But yes, oh my gosh, you got your tablet, you got your computer, you've got your phone. It's like, and then you go to bed and it's around you. No, not a good thing. Absolutely.
Well, and it's the
Yeah.
same principle of your arms, yeah? So make sure
Mm,
that put your arms out and don't put your tablets and phone and computer in the arm length of your body,
mm.
because that is still affecting your energy field. So at least that you have to stand up and walk to the other side of your bedroom to get your tablet or to get your phone. That is better, right? So it's just from a perspective of well-being for your body and your mind.
Yes, we survived in the old days, Marie, without the phone right beside us. It's a wonder we're existing because we didn't have to know where everybody was every second of the day, and yet still here we are. People
And now
people would have
we're having apps to find out that where everybody is, right?
ridiculous. It's like, really? I mean, yeah, it's gotten out of control. But and now even when some people leave the home, I mean, I'm usually not. If I leave without my phone, unless I'm going to a meeting, oh, what the hell? Excuse me, I forgot the phone. Who cares? But some people like, no, 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 I have to get it. I have to go back. I'm having a panic attack. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I was just sharing with somebody, our first most important um, aspect in ourselves is our breath. Our breath is
Mm,
like we're breathing, we have oxygen, right? But now their first life force, it looks like it's their phone, right? So without that, they have no life force. They're going in panic, right? So they're
it's
losing
true.
like their life energy. And I'm like, hey, take a deep breath. You'll be fine without 5 minutes your phone, right?
I know it's a different world. What can we say? I mean, I'm glad I experienced the before because
Yeah.
I just read that this will be the first generation that will not have experienced the phone. We're the dying generation, basically, that experienced the world without a phone, the world without technology. That we're the last generation. So I thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. So when we're gone, nobody will know the difference. What can I tell
Yeah,
you?
it's like we recently I just got my daughter and she found a DVD and she's like, "What's that?" And she's 21, right?
Mm.
And she's like, I said, "This is how we captured movies."
I know, and that's not that old either. Oh my Lord. Well, Marie, this has been so delightful. So tell our audience where they can connect with you.
Yes, of course. So they can go to marydiamond.com, the website. They can get my free Mary Diamond app. Just they put in the words Mary Diamond on Apple Store or Google Play Store. It's a free app, so put in your information. You will see that you then can get your birthday, your birth gender in it, and you get a whole profile, and you can then use that with the book Your Home is a Vision Board. Yeah, and then go to Mary Diamond Official for the YouTube, for the Instagram. You get every few days amazing information on Instagram, TikTok. We have a podcast. So it's a lot of information that you can tap into. But the book, Your Home is a Vision Board, is definitely a great start to work with. And
Mm.
it works with the app, so you can have like feeling me on your journey with you. So I'm looking forward to support you even more on your journey of manifestation. Thank you.
Mm. Well, thank you for that. And we'll have all of that information on the Epic Vision Zone bio pages. And if there was one critical message, Marie, that you could share with the world, what would it be?
Well, it would be the message I'm asking myself every day, like, how can I
Mhm.
love more? Yeah.
Mm.
And so, because we're focusing on so many things, but the main aspect in life that we're all learning and that we're evolving in as a species, as a humanity, but also as an individual, is to find more love in ourselves, in our connections towards other people. And so, ask yourself that, because when you ask yourself that, there's no room for judgment, there's no room for criticism, there is no room for bringing people down. Yeah, not yourself or not other people. So I think that's the question I would share with everybody.
Mm. Thank you for that. And because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone, and I know we asked this before, but maybe you have something new. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Ooh, that would be interesting. Um, what would the title be of my home, well, of my space, my life? I would definitely say enlightening millions of people with my
Mm.
wisdom. I think that's been my story. I've and not just any people, mainstream people, like everybody out there, just enlightening them to go to a new level. So enlightening them with my wisdom. Yeah.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. Enlightening with my wisdom. That's definitely you, Marie. Thank you for that. Thank you again for Marie for joining us here today. And once again, for information and to connect with Marie, go to the Epic Vision Zone bio pages where you will find all of her social media and direct contact information. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. Look me up at janeapplegath.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Epic Vision Zone. Sending you so much love and gratitude. This is the Epic Vision Zone, the ultimate source for extraordinary transformations.